Hi, I'm EXO, and I'm on a journey to becoming a DIY guru. If you're a garden enthusiast with a keen interest in DIY, you don't mind getting your hands dirty, this raised planter box is right up your alley. It's a simple DIY with basic tools and the freedom to change it as you want to. Today, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make this raised planter box. I've used one sheet of 19mm plywood cut as per my cutting list. The guys at Builders cut these for me, so take the cutting list to your local builders and make use of their cutting service. You'll also need two lengths of 12 by 94mm and one length of 32 by 32mm planed all-round timber. And then to raise the box, I'm going to use two off-cut pieces of CCA treated timber, and I've gone with 48 by 76mm. A pack of 3.5 by 40mm screws, a few 3 by 25mm screws, and a roll of weed guard. And the tools you're going to need are a miter saw and box, a drill driver with a screw pilot, Phillips bit, 8mm wood bit, a paintbrush and tray, masking tape, scissors or a utility knife, a tape measure, as well as a pencil. So in summary, we're going to build a box with legs on it so it sits off the ground, paint it, seal it, and make and attach a front border just to give it some character, and then turn the inside of the box into a good environment that your plants can thrive in. And we're going to start by cutting the braces for the corners from the 32 by 32mm length. So measure, mark, cut one piece at a time, 300mm long, and we're going to need 4 pieces. And these will ensure that the corner joint is strong by supporting the panels. To assemble the box, put the first 360mm piece together with a 1 meter length to form a butted joint by placing the smaller piece on the inside and attaching it with 3 screws from the outside. Do the same for all corners until you have a rectangular shape. Now using the 32 by 32mm pieces we cut earlier, I'm going to drill 2 pilot holes on 2 of the sides, making sure they're offset so the screws don't clash, and fasten them into the corners with the 40mm wood screws. So the box is done. Time now to attach it to the base. This is the 1 meter by 400mm piece, and I found it easier to attach the legs first, and for that I'm using the CCA treated offcuts. I'm going to place them 100mm from the edge and use 3 40mm screws to fasten them into place. And the reason we're using CCA treated timber for these is to avoid the noo-noos from getting into the wood, as these will be on the ground. To fasten the base to the box frame, I'm using the 8 by 40mm screws along the edges. I'm going to drill a few random 8mm holes in the base so the excess water can drain out. So the assembly is done and the feet are attached. And now to ensure your planted box can withstand the elements, I'm going to use the Fired Earth wood primer and gloss enamel to paint the outside surfaces, and then to treat the inside surface to protect against the moist soil, I'll be using Woodrock Marine 50. So before I paint on the enamel, I'm going to mask off the edges and prime the entire box with primer. This will help the enamel to stick and give it a uniform finish all over. While the primer is drying, I'm going to get started with the decorative frame around the outside of the box. Measure, mark, and cut the 12 by 94mm pine strips to the same dimensions as your front panel, remembering that ours is 1 meter by 320mm. I'll miter cut these at 45 degrees using the miter box and saw. If you're cutting non-profile length like this, miters are easy. Simply cut and then turn the saw to the other side before measuring and cutting again. Just remember to always measure the distance from the outside edge. That way, you shouldn't get confused. So I'm going to stain these with Fired Earth Woodworks wood stain. And I'm using the Emboyer color. It's a stain and sealer in one. It dries fast, it's non-toxic, it's easy to use, and because it's water-based, it's so easy to clean up. So using a brush, work the stain in the direction of the grain. Once the wood primer is dry, we can get cracking with sealing the inside of the box with Woodrock Marine 50. This is a marine-grade wood sealant, and I'll apply 2 liberal coats to treat the timber and help prevent water soaking into the wood. The sealer dries fairly quickly. Just make sure you seal the top edges. I then painted the outside of the box with Fired Earth gloss enamel in a light stone color. It's hard-wearing and weather-resistant, but because it's an enamel, it does take time to dry. However, it will be durable and it will last. So the enamel is dry. I can now attach the frame that we made earlier. I'm going to start by drilling one pilot hole on each side of the strips of timber and then attach the frame to the box using some shorter 25mm screws, making sure that the corners line up and that the frame is flush with the top and sides of the box. Don't drill too close to the edge as you run the risk of splitting the wood. And lastly, cut a piece of weed guard to fit the base, and this will prevent the soil from falling out of those very important water drainage holes I made earlier. There we are, a simple DIY that anyone can do, even over the weekend, and I think it looks beautiful. Now remember, everything I've used today is available at Builders, in-store, or online at builders.co.za. And for more how-to videos like this, check out the blog on the website. Get to Builders, get it done.